Welcome back, guys. I finally watched the movie The Devil's Candy. I know I am super late to watch this movie because it's been out for a long time, and a lot of people have been telling me online, and even friends from here in my state have been telling me that, hey, you need to watch this movie because it's pretty good. And I've just been lazy, honestly. I just haven't had time to watch it. I haven't even had time to go out to the movies lately, and I've been missing out on Annabelle Part 2 and like the Hitman's Bodyguard and all that stuff. So I probably won't have reviews for those out for a long time. If anything, I'll just type up my thoughts on Twitter. But anyways, The Devil's Candy was on Netflix, so I was like, I have some time now, let's watch it. So this movie is basically about Jesse, this struggling artist who does paintings. He has a hard time paying off his bills, and somehow they end up buying this house that used to belong to these two people that got murdered by their son. Of course, Jesse doesn't know that, and the main reason he buys the house was because it was super cheap. And the reason for that is that a lot of people already knew the story behind this house. You know, two people were murdered by their son, and the son hasn't been found. So when he buys this house, this demonic presence starts like talking into his ear, you know, telling him, you know, what to do, or you know, whatever's going on. And something that the movie does so well for me is the way that it tells the story between two perspectives. Now the son who I'm talking about, his name is Ray in the story. He's the one that kills the parents in the beginning of the film, and that's where I was automatically like drawn into this film, because it starts off like with the creepy factor telling us that, hey, you know, something is talking to this guy. Something is in his head, and the only way for him to drown out the voices is to like make loud ass noises, and that's by playing his freaking electric guitar. And he's just like going dun, dun, dun. And I swear to God, I thought that was really creepy. Like, you just picture your neighbor doing that shit in the middle of the night, like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, just banging out his guitar, like just trying to like drown out the voices from these demons. So like I said, the very first scene in the movie was pretty great. I really like that. The whole entire movie itself, it feels like pretty like close. We have a small family. It's just dad, mom, and daughter, and the entire time it just basically revolves around them moving into this house. Ray himself visits the house saying, hey, you know, I need to come back. I need to finish, you know, what he's telling me to do. And basically the story is that the devil's favorite candy is children, and the only way that the devil can have his candy is by making Ray do all these things, which is basically like kill kids and like bury them in like suitcases, which is freaking messed up. Also, the directing in this movie is freaking phenomenal. I really liked it. A lot of the creepiness comes from like a long like panning of like the screen just looking at one character, and some aspects of it is like flashbacks or just like imagery being thrown at you. There's like one jump scare in the movie that I was just like, God damn it, like why? But it didn't bother me as much. I wouldn't say the movie like freaked me out as much as I wanted it to, but there was definitely that creepy factor that I was just like, holy shit, there's a lot in this movie to take in all at once. Like, there's just things that happens in the movie where like he's either kidnapping a kid or like he's about to attack a kid, and you're like, oh my God, that whole scene is just playing out in your face. Like, there's no like shady stuff going on in the screen that you're like, okay, trying to figure out anything, but you actually see everything going on, so you kind of just take it all in all at once. And I really like that about this movie. The movie itself is very artistic. Like, the paintings that he's drawing is pretty demonic, but at the same time they look pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. And the way that the perspective of these two people is being shown is that, you know, one is committing the act, the other one is drawing out the act. Like, he kind of sees the future of what's gonna happen to his kid or his family, and I really like that because it's kind of telling me, you know, like what to expect, but I don't really know how it's gonna play out. The only complaint I have about this movie, and this is like super weird because usually in movies that are like super long, I'm like, all right, the movie could have been a whole lot better if it was like 15 minutes shorter. But in this one, the movie was too short. So I was just like, shit. When the movie ended, I was just like, oh man, it's over. Like, damn, I want to see more, because not trying to get into spoilers or anything, but like there's a discovery at the very end, and the actor just kind of like smiles, and I don't really know if that's like okay, did he win, or did like this demonic presence win him over? So I couldn't tell, but I really liked the way they ended it. But it just seems like the movie was too short, and I feel like I wanted to know a little bit more about these characters and, you know, what happens after. The little girl, his daughter, I can't remember her name, but she was fantastic in the film. I really liked her. I feel like she wasn't over the top, because I mean, you're a fucking kid, you're about to get like killed by this guy. Yeah, you would be screaming your ass off. So I don't think she was like overacting or anything. I think she was pretty great. The only like underacted performance here in this movie was probably the mom, because she was at the minimum on screen compared to the father and daughter. The metal music in this movie is actually effective because it adds to that creepiness that I'm talking about. Like, it makes it like weirder for me to watch, and I'm like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? But guys, those are my overall thoughts. I really liked the film. You know, it felt pretty original. I don't know if you guys have watched this movie or, you know, what you guys think about it, but personally, I think the movie could have been a little bit longer just for my liking itself. Like I said, you know, I wasn't terrified terrified or anything like that, but I found it really intriguing because of how original it felt. And I like these two perspectives that I was looking at, because one is good, one is evil, and we see a lot of like the stuff thrown through the paintings, and I really like the paintings even though they're pretty disturbing. But guys, with all that said, I'm gonna give The Devil's Candy a 3.8 out of 5. It's not a terrible movie by all means, so make sure to watch it if you haven't already. It's like I said, I don't think it's gonna scare the shit out of you. It's probably gonna disturb you, if anything. So with that, guys, what's a horror movie that you guys like? A horror movie that you think is pretty original? One movie that I recently watched was called Raw, and it's basically about a vegetarian that starts eating human, or eating meat. Like, I thought that movie was pretty original itself. It took me like 2-3 times to watch it so I can actually get really indulged in the film, because I had to watch it in subtitles. So if you guys like movies with subtitles, or that doesn't bother you at all, then I would suggest checking that out because it's pretty original. So guys, if you guys are new to my channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell. Oh, before I forget, I am watching The Defenders on Netflix, so I'll probably have that review out soon, hopefully. Maybe in the next couple of days or not. And also, I know the Ice Cream Truck movie, or I think it's a slasher movie that came out, so I'm looking forward to looking at that one and making a review about it. So like I said, subscribe, like this video, and as always guys, stay tuned.